Heads, you gotta keep your head. Tails, not so lucky.
Hi. That was horrible. But I'm gonna keep going because I'm not gonna get much better because there is someone in my house. And it's very uncomfortable when I think they can hear me. But yeah, there's someone here working on a door in the house, and I thought he was gonna leave a long time ago, but he's still here, so here we are. So today I'm doing a look I've been pretty excited about doing for a while, and I kept going back and forth with whether or not I wanted it to be like super like simple and beginner friendly, or really go in on the SFX stuff. And I decided that's what I'm gonna do. I really wanted to give myself a challenge today. As I've mentioned before, I don't practice these looks ahead of time. I really like to just sit down and go for it. So that's what we're gonna do. I am going to do a mashup look between Too Faced and the Joker. Now specifically, the looks I'm taking inspiration from, I'm not copying directly, are from The Dark Knight, because that's my favorite Batman movie, and Heath Ledger is obviously the best Joker. There's no room for debate on this one, by the way. That is where I'm taking the inspiration from. And if you're wondering why my hair looks so weird, it's because of this. I'm going to keep this side, the Too Faced side, it's gonna be all like burnt. So I wanted to pull my hair back, and you can kind of see actually a little scar here from when my little brother dropped a paintball gun on my head. So this will be Too Faced side, and this is gonna be the Joker side, which I'm going to, I keep saying spray paint, it's not spray paint, it is colored hairspray. I'm going to hopefully color hairspray my hair green. I don't know if this is gonna work. I'm actually gonna, I feel like I'm gonna have to wipe all that down when I'm done. But yeah, I don't know how this is gonna appear. I'm gonna do this over here. Well, yeah, sure, that'll work. Okay, so take a washable glue stick and go ham on your eyebrows. If you have really, really pale eyebrows, you might not need to do this, at least for the Joker side, but my eyebrows are fairly dark. I do have dark hair, so you'll want to do this. But also just for kind of security purposes, we will be putting latex around our eyebrows, not over our eyebrows. I've seen some things that it's like, oh, if you like glue them down and you go over them, like they'll be fine and like safe from latex. I don't trust it. Do not put latex over your eyebrows. It will rip your eyebrows out. So, something, I look crazy. Conceal, then powder. Not powder, then conceal. Just the concealer, it's one of the rules. It's a cream. You don't put a cream over a powder. It does not lay right. And now I look like an alien. Time for latex and cotton, which you've seen me use on this channel a million times. At least if you've been watching my channel for a while. But it's one of the FX products that you will see every FX artist use again and again. It's very versatile. It's pretty easy to use. Just a little bit of practice. And when you're using it, don't work on carpet. It doesn't come out of anything. So I wear things that I don't mind getting ruined whenever I'm doing stuff like this. You can always change later. So I'm shredding up a cotton ball. So I actually kind of unraveled it and tore off a piece, and now I'm just kind of stretching it out a little bit to help with texture. I'm gonna do kind of layers, which I don't normally do. So what I'm gonna do, I'll try to explain each step as thoroughly as possible, even if it means this video is 45 minutes long. I tend to start on my cheek. So I'm gonna put a thin layer down. And then I'm going to lay this down, stick it to the latex. Latex also dries incredibly fast. So obviously the thinner the layers, the faster it's gonna dry. So I want to, just for this initial layer, kind of make it thinner, just so it's not too goopy and it doesn't run. So now I've laid this down, I'm gonna go over it with latex and seal in all that cotton. And I'll keep going over and adding pieces and adding more texture to areas until it has the kind of effect I want. And I am stopping it almost dead center. I'm gonna take this up close to my nose and over my forehead. I'm not putting this anywhere near my eyes. There are some latex that are very low ammonia that you could get close to your eyes and it not really bother you too much, but I don't have a low ammonia latex. I have a latex that is actually very strong with fumes. I have to keep these windows open in order to do this now because I've been getting headaches more and more frequently. Because again, I film with my door shut and that's not good. That's really not, it's not a good idea. So I'm not putting this anywhere near my eyes, and even putting it near my nose kind of sucks. So I adjusted my lighting a little bit and the exposure on the camera, so hopefully you can see this a little bit better. I didn't realize, like, well, in what I was doing, that I got very washed out. But here we go. This is what it looks like so far. I can't really move this side of my face, but something I forgot to mention before I got started was that I was going to poke and kind of move around some of the latex as I went to give more dimension. So I peeled this side up and, okay, it's still tacky, don't touch it. I lifted this side up to give a little bit more of an effect here. So when I go in and shade, I'll make sure to keep this part darker and lighten up the edges. Or another thing you can do is make the outside look a lot more charred and the inside more wet and gushy. And I did the same thing up here and kind of around my eye because I'm gonna keep around my eye very dark. So while that continues to dry, I'm going to start on some of the stuff on Joker's side, mainly his scar. So I'm going to use an eyebrow pencil to draw out his scar, just so I know where I'm going with this stuff. So I'm not going to actually, are you gonna draw for me? There we go. Start at the corner of my mouth. Well, actually I am, why not? But rigid collodion, which is what I'll be using again, I think I used in my last tutorial. I'm not going to put it right on my mouth. I will keep it a little bit further away. We'll keep the line there. I'm going to make, I will make the scar kind of jagged, but I want to keep it in like a creepy smile. So like this. But with some jagged edges. For those of you who do not know what rigid collodion is, I will try to explain. Rigid collodion is what, I should not be painting this on my face and talking at the same time. Hold on. Rigid collodion is a special effects product that creates scars. What it does is kind of shrivels up, I guess, the skin on which it is laid, like it kind of dries it up and stuff. So it creates a scar-like indent in the skin. Now it means it can be a very dangerous product if used improperly. If you get it too close to your mouth, too close to your eyes, if you apply it in the same area over and over and over again for days. It just gives a really, really cool effect. And for something like this, I really like it. You do have to put on several layers. So I have to sit here, wait for this layer to dry, and I'll put on several more. And I'm still going to use another product around it to give an even more lifted effect to this scar. So this is technically a step you could skip if you wanted to, and just go around it with liquid latex and cotton. Or what I'm going to use is modeling wax or scar wax. But I decided that we are going in on this today with heavy FX products and basically testing all of my skills today, which I thought would be really fun. So I'm going to put on about 7 more layers of rigid collodion, and then we will move on to the next step. So I have several layers of rigid collodion on the left side of my face. And now moving my face is twice as difficult as it was before. I hate myself a little bit for deciding to do this way, because this can absolutely be done with latex and cotton. Put down a little line of latex, a little bit of cotton, go over it with latex, just like we did on this side, but in a more controlled shape, and you will get this effect. But like I said at the beginning, at least I'm pretty sure I said at the beginning, it's been so long, I don't know anymore. I wanted a challenge today. So I'm using scar wax. So what you're gonna need in order to work with scar wax and not want to hurt someone is a palette knife of some sort or some sort of tool to scoop it out, makeup remover, which I've put in this little bowl, or Vaseline or coconut oil, something that's gonna act as a boundary between your skin and the wax. And I probably should have grabbed paper towels, hold on. I'm not excited about this part at all. I know it's gonna look good, but I hate scar wax so much. And you're gonna see why in a second. Or I could just explain why. It's really sticky. It's really, really sticky and can be very frustrating to work with. Scar wax is not beginner friendly in my opinion, at all. I'm going to be using Spirit Gum, or you could use Prozade, some sort of FX adhesive. And you're going to put down, it smells so weird, a thin layer on your skin right next to the scar. I'm gonna put makeup remover on my hands and get a little bit of the wax out of here. You could also put the makeup remover on the palette knife as well, rolled into a little worm there. And when, honestly, that Spirit Gum might have already dried. I'm going to push it on here. I think the Spirit Gum already got dried. Oh my God. Okay, I put too thin of a layer or worked too slowly, I'm not sure. So we're gonna put down some more Spirit Gum. I think Spirit Gum, honestly, I think I would recommend Prozade a little bit more for beginners because it goes on white and turns clear when it's drying. So it's a little bit easier to tell like when it's ready. Okay, then when it's on there, you're gonna start smoothing it out with the palette knife. I keep saying palette knife. That's not really not what this looks like. I found this with clay art supplies, like for carving clay. Okay, and actually something I'm gonna do. I was gonna do this as like the last step to like seal everything after I was done, but the next step is actually I'm going to seal it essentially with liquid latex. I'm gonna go around the edges with a different palette knife. Just to hold down the edges and go over it a little bit more. That was more than I needed. You could use a Q-tip for this, but the Q-tips are over there. I forgot I was gonna need them. And I'll go over everything a little bit more with more latex after I'm done. So it occurred to me like 2 nights ago when I was getting ready to film this, that this month might have not been the smartest month to do a DC centric video, given, you know, Endgame is coming out. But I could not think of a Marvel related video to do. I had no ideas for a tutorial of any sort, and I wasn't gonna try to force one and like just throw it together because that's just no fun. And I could have just saved this video for when the Joker movie comes out. But I didn't want to do that either. I've held on to this idea for a while because I couldn't decide exactly how I wanted to do it. Did I want to go like really authentic with like Harvey Dent's Too-Faced look or have my own interpretation? I was going back and forth a lot on how I was going to do this. But then I decided that I was going to do it my way. So I wanted to go ahead and do it. I didn't want to wait until September for it to come out to do this. I was like, that's no fun. I'm gonna do it now. That one was a lot better. That one was tons better. It was also in a straight line and didn't try to curve it. So that helped. So yeah, I think I'm done complaining about this product that I have elected to use. But I do think it's fair warning to say not for beginners, not a beginner friendly product. It can be very frustrating to use. That took a while. So this is where we're at. I finally got my butt out of my chair and grabbed some Q-tips, which is way easier than trying to use a knife. Now, after finishing this, the rigid Collodion step is really unnecessary. Now I really can't see what I did, and it's actually kind of different. I went ahead and just ran the top line directly up in that smile line instead of trying to create those jagged marks. and I like it a lot better. And now I'm just kind of shaping that smile a little bit more before I put any latex on the inside of this cut to seal it all in. Just want to make that smile a little bit creepier. There we go. So now I'm going to take a Q-tip and latex and finish coating and really sealing in all the wax. So another thing with scar wax, before I forget why it's kind of annoying and not my favorite, is it does break apart really easily. This middle piece here on the top smile line keeps moving. Now the latex will seal everything in and make it to where it won't move. I mean, I can already feel just sealing the outside, it feels a lot sturdier. We can go back to the burnt side to start actually painting with face while this scar dries. Scar, it's not a scar. While this huge cut dries and all that latex dries. Because this burnt side, it is completely dry. You see, like, there are light areas, but that's just where you can see the cotton. It's not really like milky like this side. So I'm using face paints, water-based paints for this. And I'm just using red and black. And then I'll go over areas with blood gel to make things a little bit more gooey. I'm gonna start out with red, I think. I am going to start out with red. And this is gonna be kind of similar, I think, to what I did when I did Wrath. Oh, while we're on the note of Wrath, when you are removing this stuff from your face, do not rip it off. Use a makeup remover. In fact, the makeup remover I've been using this whole time for the scar wax is actually the kind of remover you're gonna want. Any oil-based remover will help do the trick, but this is Isopropyl Myristate. It's one of my favorite words. And it is a SFX remover. So it's what you'd want for the rigid collodion. It's what you're gonna want for latex. Spirit gum comes with its own remover if you buy the set, which I did. So I have like a tiny vial of spirit gum and another small container of the remover. Make sure you have right removers. Do not, please, do not do what I did when I filmed Wrath. I had burn makeup all over this side of my face, I believe, and down my neck and across my chest. After I got done filming that, because of all the fumes that I had trapped in this office, my head hurt so bad. I did properly remove everything from my face, but when it got to what was on my chest, I just ripped it off, like violently tore it off my chest. So I was so done. And of course, because that's so not the way you're supposed to do that, my skin was very red. I had broken capillaries all over my chest. I looked very bruised for a couple days because that is not the way you should remove that. Latex is way worse than wax. It holds onto your skin so tightly, it does not want to let go. So you need to have the proper remover. Do as I say, not as I have done. I learned my lesson. So I'm kind of just going at it with this paint. Kind of going everywhere. I'm not entirely sure how, like, I don't want it to be really charred. I'm trying to decide which areas I want to be darker than others. Because I think I'm gonna paint around my eyes black. That doesn't exactly make sense. I don't know. That's the fun thing about this, is I can kind of just mess with it for now and see where we end up. It's like, now that I think about it, I don't think I want the red to blend in to this side because red mixed with white is gonna be pink and that's weird. So I think I'm gonna wanna make sure I make this edge black. So let me see if I can go ahead and do that. I still have scar wax all over my nails. That's the one thing about having like acrylic nails is I use them as like tools all the time to help like carve this out and move things around and smush things. And it's very helpful. I'll probably go back over this area with eyeshadow later. So I'm gonna figure this out. I'll be right back. Okay, so this is what we look like so far. I'm in a situation where I really wish I could put contacts in my eyes, but I'm really bad at that. So where did my blood go? I'm using blood gel. And this has like this little wonky brush. I don't want to use that. Instead, I'm going to use one of my brushes. Yeah, this one. It's just, I bought a really cheap set of brushes from Amazon. I need to choose one of these. Get this a little bit gushier. Because I want this to look more like a fresh burn. It's like, yeah, it got kind of charred, but it's still gooey. At least this time, all this blood isn't gonna be that uncomfortable, because the thing is with gel blood, or blood gel, whatever, it doesn't dry. Stage blood will dry down eventually, and this would, but not usually in the time frame of you wearing it. It's not like, oh, if I sit here for 10 minutes, it'll dry down and it'll be fine. It'll stay sticky and gooey for a while, which can be really uncomfortable if you're trying to wear it out for something. But with the barrier of the latex, which is already uncomfortable. I'm not saying this is more comfortable, but I prefer this weird latex feeling on my face than the blood gel. So I'm gonna leave this area a little bit blood-free, I guess. I'll go over it with eyeshadow to keep it matte. I'll go over my eyes as well to keep all this creasing and matte. So I'm gonna move on to painting this side white, at least loosely white. I'm not going to take like a solid paintbrush. I'm not looking for solid coverage. I'm losing the ability to talk. I'm gonna use some sort of stippling brush, I think. Okay, it doesn't smell weird now. I was gonna use this earlier and I thought it smelled weird. It smells fine now. Or I've just lost the ability to smell and it doesn't make a difference. But I'm gonna use this because I wanna go with that distressed look from The Dark Knight. There you go. So technically this side is pretty much done for now unless I decide to change things later, like add more black somewhere or something. And I'm going to go in with a little bit of red paint and a much smaller brush. Or like it's not an exact take on Well, I can't talk. It's not an exact recreation of Heath Ledger's Joker, it's just inspired by it. So I think what I'm gonna do is actually leave the scar a little bit more prominent. Instead of like painting over a lot, I'm gonna make it a little bit more bloody. So it's like this and this maybe happened around the same time. We'll come back to the lipstick later. This is another thing where it's looking very red on camera and it's a little bit darker in person, but still, we're not gonna leave it like that. I'm going to take, I wanted a little bit more color in this look other than black and red. So I'm going to take green from this palette. I'm gonna take this kind of bright green and take it around the inside, like upper eyebrow, really like on top of my eyebrow, on my nose and inner corner, and really build up the color and fan it out. You'll see why I'm keeping it in this area. Over my eyebrow. I'm gonna take the purple in here and go on the other half around my eye. So more lower eye meeting the eyebrow. This is a fun thing with, it's still kind of learning some things about filming and lighting is the fact that it does look different in person than it does on camera, and trying to figure out why. And usually it comes down to lighting. But daylight is usually the safest light to use, but the camera is also trying to compensate for a lot of darkness on one side and a lot of lightness on one side. It doesn't kind of know what to do. And I'm gonna go back and forth between these colors for a minute to really build them up and blend them together the way I want them to be. Really want that this green and purple to stand out, but not in a way where it looks like I just got punched in the face. Back to black. So to cover the eyelid and go under the eye. Something I do like about this makeup is you can be really sloppy. And I'm not doing any sort of mascara or anything like that for this. Of course, if you wanted to, you absolutely could. Time to fix these lips. So what to do? Take some black eyeshadow and darken up the burnt side for sure. I actually need to go back through and blend the lines a little bit more between the two sides. I feel like the Joker side is nearly done. I need something around the scar. Let's goo up the scar. That'll be fun. I'm actually gonna look up a picture of Harvey Dent real quick. Yeah, he was actually really charred. He has more muscle exposed and a lot of, I might have messed up with not taking the latex closer to my eye, but I value being able to see more around the eyes. What if I just make it gooier around the eyes? I keep saying gooey instead of bloody. I'm thinking if you have contacts that you get in, like scleras, that would add a really cool effect to this. I still have a lot of trouble trying to get contacts in, and I know it'll make my eyes water, and this is water activated paint, which means it also comes off with water. So I'm not gonna cry off all my work. Not today, at least. So the last thing I think I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna finally stop tweaking stuff, is I'll probably actually try to add some more green to my hair, but I'm going to darken up my lips. I'm gonna keep them red and this side defined, just the one side defined. A little bit more water. And I am using the face paint for this. Perfect. That'll be fun. Okay, let's actually mess it up a little bit. I changed my mind so much. Maybe I had a really bad night. I had a really, really bad night. Okay, so I think I'm done tweaking stuff. Now I can put my vest on and we can do a final look.
Why so serious?
Quick note, it's really difficult to drink with all of this on your face. Just thought I'd share.